Right, hi guys, welcome back to the Menu Auction Room. Welcome back to yet another one of these videos where I try and see if a console that I have purchased from the car boot actually works. So, you remember a few weeks ago I ended up with an absolutely mega bundle for £20 that included a Super Nintendo and a Sega Master System. We got the Super Nintendo working by purchase of a plug and a SCART lead off of eBay, an ungenuine one, and boom, it worked and we were really happy with that, so that's great. The Master System now, it didn't come with a controller, which I have picked up from Cash Exchange. Cost me £12, but I had loads of vouchers, so it's not actually cost me anything really. Yeah, so I picked one of those up in the hope that it'll work, and it didn't come with any games. We just had an empty cartridge box of Wanted with no game in, and all the other cartridges in here, of course, were for the Super Nintendo. So I picked up Pac-Mania, and that cost a grand total of £5, so I didn't think that was too bad. Again, it didn't actually cost me £5, I had loads of voucher. And then the weird one is, they gave me this, which says on there, Master System, box with manual, £4. But that's clearly for the Mega Drive. So I purchased this in store at Doncaster, actually, but they didn't actually show it me when I picked it up, so it wasn't until I got home I realised the error. So contacted Cash Exchange, and they were brilliant, actually, and they sent me out a Master System version for absolutely free. And because they don't sell the Sega Mega Drive version, they said you can keep the other one because we can't do anything with it. So I was like, okay, there you go. So yes, I've ended up with Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2. The only reason I picked those two games up was because they were the cheapest that were available at my local Cash Exchange. So no other reason than that. They were the cheapest ones. I'm not going to spend a fortune, especially if it doesn't work. So let's remove the Nintendo cartridges. We don't need them today, I'm afraid. But yeah, the Super Nintendo was great. I've been playing on it, and the video did really well for views, so thanks for that. So we're going to plug this in, and we're downstairs in the living room. Sorry, Mum and Dad. But we're downstairs in the living room due to the fact that this is the only telly that has an aerial connection. And this needs an aerial, so let's try and set it up. I've already plugged the cables in, ready to go. Hopefully that'll help me somewhat one-handedly. But yeah, we'll see if it fires up, see if it works. An absolute spaghetti junction of wires there. Yeah, we'll see if it works, but I'll just plug it all in off camera. You know how it works. That goes into the mains, that goes into the back of the telly in the aerial bit, and then we'll see if it fires up from there. Right, so we are plugged in to the relevant departments, into the plug, into the back of the telly. Mum, Dad, if I die, it's been a pleasure. Power on. Not done anything at all? No, just put a game in first maybe? There doesn't seem to be any light to tell you it's on. Do you have to plug a remote in first? That might help. So I've left it switched off. I'm going to stick a game in now. I'm going to put Ayrton Senna's game in because why not? Then turn it on. Is there any signs of life? Hello? It's not making any noises at all, is it? I wonder if the power thing's broken. Standby caller. So unfortunately at the moment it's not looking like this is going to be working. There's no signs of life from the actual system itself. I'm just trying to do a scan now because obviously it's plugged in through the aerial, so I'm trying to do an analog and digital search to see if it can find anything on the screen. Maybe some interference to show that there is life in this thing, but there's no noises coming from it at all. Yeah, a bit disappointing really. It looks like we've found a dead one, but I mean, bloody hell, the Super Nintendo worked, the Sega Master System doesn't, which is a shame. I'm unsure what to do in terms of, do I think it's the power cable, the power supply that's potentially dodgy? So maybe this will burst into life if I get another lead, or do I quit spending money on it and cut my losses? It's not the most expensive console in the world. You can get one of these at a discounted price with cosmetic damage from Cash Exchange for £40, and they only give you like 18 on a trade-in or something with cash. So the fact I've used £12 of voucher for the remote and £4 for a Mega Drive game that I ended up getting swapped for a Master System, and £5 for that. So I spent like £21 on voucher, which is fine because that's what the voucher's here for. It's here for when I need things. But Do I then go spend another 10, 12 quid on eBay for some new wires just to see if that works? I don't know. Let me know. So this is his last hope. If it doesn't find anything at all on here, then I know for a fact it's definitely no signs of life. But there's no beeping, there's no clunking, there's no lights, there's nothing to show that this thing is alive in any way, shape or form. So like I said, I don't know if it's the console itself that's died or whether it's the power supply. Yeah, difficult one to judge really. So I'll just wait for this to finish, and then if we get nothing, I'll conclude the video there. Okay then guys, we have completed the roundup, and the overview is that I think it's dead. I don't think it's working at all, unfortunately. There's no signs of life, it's not detected anything whilst doing the scan through the cable. Yeah, what do I do? Do I spend more money and try and find a replacement cable for it and see if it's the power pack that's the problem, the power supply to it? Or do I just cut my losses and go, well, it was 20 quid in a box, the Super Nintendo worked and the Master System did not. It's a shame, I'd love to see it get working, but if I buy a cable and then it's still not that, then I've got no idea, and obviously the console is fairly dead then at that point. And like I said, I spent probably around 30 quid by the time I get another power supply and maybe a new lead, and of course in the games and the remote I paid and bought, for it not to work at all. I don't know. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. But unfortunately, we had a great success with the last one, and this time around it's got a bit flat. So yeah, unfortunately, it works out like that sometimes, doesn't it? But yeah, let me know in the comment section. Do you think I should get a power cable and give it one last try, one last lease of life, or shall I sack it off and just say, no, it's not going to work? Thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, much love.